like from a different planet. Saudi Arabia makes $1 billion a day. Okay, they make $1 billion a day. Saudi Arabia, if it weren't for us, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't exist. They should pay us. It's like Kuwait. When Kuwait had the problem with Saddam Hussein, like the ultimate problem, they were taken over. We go in, we fight.
We were paid for that war. They did. We had other countries that paid back some stuff.
We got nothing. And you know, I met the Kuwaitis right
Secretary Baker did collect a lot of money.
A lot, but nothing compared to what we spent. Nothing compared to what we spent. And I'll never forget, shortly after the war, the Kuwaiti fund came to see me, and they wanted to do a deal. And I said, we have a great deal in the United States. They go, no, 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 not United States, not United States. We don't want to invest in the United States. We gave them back their country.
But to go back to Saudi Arabia, if they're a funder of terrorists, why should we have diplomatic relations with them at all?
Well, look, I'm not a big fan.
Should we be holding them more accountable?
Well,
they treat women poorly.
The primary reason we're with Saudi Arabia is because we need the oil. Now we don't need the oil so much. And if we let our people really go, we wouldn't need the oil at all, and we could let everybody else fight it out. Look, Saudi Arabia is going to be in big trouble pretty soon, and they're going to need help. Because if you look at Yemen and you look at that border, you don't have to be an expert to know that is one long border. And they're not going in for Yemen. They're going in for the oil. They're going in for Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is going to need help. Like it or don't like it, people have backed Saudi Arabia. What I really mind, though, is we back it at tremendous expense. We get nothing for it, and they're making $1 billion a day. But I think Saudi Arabia is a major target. A major target. And I think that's why
you think this is going to be the United States' responsibility if Saudi Arabia erupts into a civil war? This is the great fear among a lot of people in the Middle East.
Well, that could happen.
You think it's the U.S. responsibility to help settle that?
Well, I say this now because of what's happened with the oil revolution, with fracking and all of the different technologies that are coming about with the oil. I think that certainly we don't have the same motive that we used to have. We used to have a real motive. We needed
financial motive.
We did.
Right.
We need that. That's a much smaller motive right now because we have a lot of oil. In fact, we're sitting probably on the largest, and between us and Canada, I think we probably have the largest in the world. So I really feel if we're helping them and if we want to help them, and it's something that probably we should do, despite what you said, and certainly we've been doing it for a long time, and Obama's
So if this
been
happens,
doing it.
you think if you're president, reluctantly, the U.S. is going to help?
I would say reluctantly, but we're going to be paid a lot of money. We're not paid. We defend Saudi Arabia. We send our ships. We send our planes. Every time there's a little ruckus, we send those ships and those planes. We get nothing. Why? They're making $1 billion a day. We get nothing. And this is the problem with the world. We make bad deals. We have no victories. I mean, we just don't have victories anymore. As a country, we don't have victories anymore. And it's very sad. Whether it's trade with China, whether it's Japan selling us cars by the millions, and what do we sell them? Nothing. I mean, we give them practically nothing. And by the way, when we send beef, cattle, wheat, when we send things to Japan, they don't even want to take it.
Let's go to Europe. You wrote this: pulling back from Europe would save this country millions of dollars annually. The cost of stationing NATO troops in Europe is enormous, and these are clearly funds that can be put to better use. We pull out of Europe. Would you want to end the NATO alliance completely as well?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a little concerned about NATO from this standpoint. Take Ukraine. We're leading Ukraine. Where's Germany? Where are the countries of Europe leading? I don't mind helping them. I don't mind being right behind them. I'll be right behind them. You know the old expression, go on, fellas, I'm right behind you. I'll be behind them so much. But why isn't Germany? Germany's a very, very powerful and economically powerful and rich country. Why isn't Germany, Chuck, leading this charge? Why is the United States? I mean, we're like the policemen of the world. And why are we leading the charge in Ukraine?
So you don't think Ukraine's our
responsibility? I don't
responsibility?
like what's happening with Ukraine.
Yeah.
But that's really a problem that affects Europe a lot more than it affects us. And they should be leading some of this charge.
So you wouldn't allow Ukraine into NATO?
I would not care that much, to be honest with you, whether it goes in or doesn't go in. I wouldn't care.
So,
if it goes in, great. If it doesn't go in, great. Look, I will
sounds like you're not
support
a fan
NATO.
of NATO.
I'm a fan of fairness. I'm a fan of common sense.